I can't see myself on the
There you
screen.
are,
Just kidding.
Dane.
There I am. Okay, we're all good now. Yeah, so
a green
welcome
tinge
to
to
the
this
show.
video.
Everybody joining us here in the comments. That's awesome. Go ahead and pop them in there, and we'll get to them throughout the show. But obviously, to my right, Levi Gates.
Dane, what's happening?
Yo, and to my left, Anthony Fisher.
Hey, guys.
And I'm Dane Hennen, but you figured that out. Those are our Instagram tags down below, just in case you're not familiar.
That's not
you
mine.
can definitely find us at those ats. So, anyway, guys, little housekeeping before we get into our weekends. What's there to talk about?
Yes, there is.
Go ahead, Anthony. Do you have any
Thanks for having me.
There it is.
So this week, right, getting started off here at theradcompany.com. And by getting started off, I mean it hasn't appeared yet, but we will be having our Memorial Day sale where our own Next Day Nate created a very special custom sticker for this day. We're really excited.
We're going to give you guys a little, not a taste of it, but we're going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
It's a Memorial Day sticker.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't know is it's based off of Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
The holiday Memorial Day is based off Remembrance Day, which is celebrated all over the world. And it's one of those things that we thought, because we're now a worldwide organization, that we thought it's probably more fortuitous for us to celebrate a worldwide holiday. Even though Memorial Day is such a huge, wonderful holiday here in America, it is still a holiday that is celebrated all over. So we thought, why not create a Remembrance Day style sticker? So I think people are gonna be very impressed with this one. I think they're gonna be very excited to see it. So gonna be fun. Gonna be able to add that to the collection, if you will. It's very unique. It's different.
Yeah, no, it's not the typical, and yet when you look at it, you know exactly what it's all about, which is really cool. So it definitely blends that in a really, really nice way, and I got to commend Nate for that. He did a great job.
Good job for Nate doing that.
Looked like my folks were
So
having
when is
fun
that
placing it around on the trip.
When is that happening, Anthony? When's that sale starting?
So that sale starts Memorial Day weekend.
So possibly,
Actually, be days before that.
possibly going to be happening during our live Q&A.
Wow.
It's going to be one of those things. So people,
What a time
if
to
you
launch.
haven't, and I know a lot of you do this already, and it's fine, you need to sign up for the newsletter, the details. Go to theradcompany.com, sign up. That way you know exactly when that sale launches, so that you can get into it, get that discount, get that sticker, and get on your way.
So Shelby has a good question here. It
Yes.
says, do the stickers come in every order? You have to request them. So every order placed in the Memorial Day sale will receive a sticker.
During the Memorial Day sale.
So, yeah, so
But
as
it has
long
to
as
be
the
within
sale's
that
going
time
on.
frame. That's the important part.
Yeah.
So if it's like 9 a.m. on Thursday and you place an order, but the Memorial Day sale hasn't started,
You
probably not
probably
getting
won't
a
get
sticker.
one.
So
Very
again,
true.
reason being to sign up for the newsletter. That way you know exactly when the sale starts.
Yeah.
So
You know the minute it starts.
exactly. So
All right.
anything else? We had a busy week,
Yeah.
guys. We've
Yeah.
got a busy week this week. Again, you guys, hopefully you catched it on Thursday. Juan is now part of the team here.
Yes.
So Juan is going to be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week to come in, knock out some more Spanish videos, as well as be on the live Q&A with us. So get your questions and stuff that you have. If you want to ask, Juan will be here in the studio with us, which will be really cool. We're super excited to have him.
Oh, yeah.
Juan's been one of those guys that's been with us for a very long time. A lot of people just didn't notice or they hadn't seen it, but he's been to the last 3 SEMAs with us.
He's been there with
worked
us.
the booth.
Yeah.
He's always come to almost every event that we've hosted here because he lives in Idaho Falls, which is about 4 hours away.
I know it's got Idaho in the name, but he is kind of far, but
It's
he's
almost
closer
Utah.
than most.
Yeah, but he is. But this is going to be basically he's going to be coming up at least once a month, a couple days, and shoot some videos and get some stuff done.
You guys have some pretty cool ideas of what we
Be
can
fun.
do.
We're excited to have him. So
And so I hope if you guys haven't checked them out already, even if you don't speak Spanish, I feel like there's still
they're
something to
good.
be gained.
That-
Watching, I felt like
the
I was
Rags to
learning,
Riches
even
one?
though I didn't understand
so
everything.
the Rags to Riches video that he
on
did,
video.
the shots and the angles in which the team came up with
Oh, it was great.
to do that.
I think that was mostly
it
Sebastian.
was fun. It was really fun to see the way that it was different from like Anthony's video, but it was still, if you know what he's talking about and you know Spanish, he's literally telling you the same stuff that we've said, and it's it's fun. It's neat to
I'm
see.
sure I hear laughing in the background. I'm sure one of the other guys edited it, and they're really mad that I gave Sebastian all the credit. But I think Sebastian was holding the camera.
Well, good on. Let's just thank Sebastian for all the hard work. I could just hear the laughter behind there.
Like, I made somebody mad.
I mean, he killed it on the thumbnails as well. And so just to think that he had to make those Spanish thumbnails.
His thumbnails are amazing. They're one of a kind. Honestly, I don't think anybody.
I definitely didn't make
nobody could recreate those.
I definitely didn't just go into Google Translate and take what I wanted to say, and then,
like you said, you didn't have to do that at all because Seabass did it.
Take some pictures and make that.
Well,
it's weird how Seabass was able to do that. He's not even been here for the last week.
I know, it's strange.
Weird.
Okay. How good he is.
No, I do have a question though. Before we get too much further, since we're on the topic, there's something I was interested in posing to our audience, and hey, you guys are here, so feel free to weigh in the comments. I was thinking there are other channels that do this when they have like bilingual kind of setup on their channel. They release an English version and then a whatever their other language is version on the same day, same time on their channel, so that way nobody feels left out. So their main audience is able to get the content, and they don't feel like, I don't understand, so I'm missing out on that.
So you're thinking, what would people feel like if we did an English-Spanish version of Juan's videos?
Correct. I'm thinking, because obviously he speaks both. He could certainly do both. And then that way they don't, when people are watching, the thing about YouTube is when you have an audience, you built that audience.
Yeah.
So they're there, and primarily our audience are English speakers, but there are a lot of folks from all around the world who definitely English is not their first language. They just happen to understand it too. So I like being able to cater to the Spanish language audience, but I don't want to leave our English-speaking audience behind. So when we can do it, where we can kind of do it back-to-back and offer the same information, I think that's useful, and I think that helps a lot of people. I don't see a lot of downside to that.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
So you let me know if that's something you feel equally about, because I think if we just release a Spanish only, it may cause some people to feel like, well, hey, wait, what did I miss out on? So, just want to make sure we're getting everybody covered.
Pan the organizer does that.
Yeah, he does.
Both English and in French.
He does.
And Ivan does that too.
And Ivan does them too. So Cameron Messina has a question here that I need to explain to people.
Here's Cameron.
So it says, I may be a little late, but I just tried Meguiar's non-acid wheel and tire cleaner, and I fell in love. I'm torn now between Brakebuster and Meguiar's. I hate to say it, but I'm leaning towards Meguiar's simply because the label is 100 times better. So, question, Cameron, have you tested the pH of the Meguiar's non-acid wheel and tire cleaner? That's one of the things, because if it's an opposite end spectrum, meaning non-acid, like Clean Wheels. Clean Wheels is technically a non-acid wheel cleaner.
It's like an acid alternative.
It is.
Yeah.
But it tests in the pH levels like an acid.
Yeah, it seems like an acid on the pH scale.
Yeah. So that's what I'm wondering. See if you can get a pH tester, check that Meguiar's, or read the SDS, look up the SDS, and see what it says, what that pH is. Because if they're both 13s, then you have a valid point. You could say, I feel like the Meguiar's cleans better because they're both a 12 or 13 on the pH scale.
Yeah.
But if it's an opposite, if it's a 2 or a 3 on that pH scale, then you're talking about two totally different style wheel cleaners. And it's something that not a lot of people, they keep doing this that I see, but they don't actually take the time to check and find out. It's like people go, man, that Magic Wheel Cleaner is 100 times better than Brakebuster. Well, Brakebuster is more like Power Clean in terms of pH cleanability. It's an alkaline, where Magic Wheel Cleaner is at a 5. So it's entering in towards a more acid style wheel cleaner. So it's not the same.
Well, and the acids, oftentimes, they'll work well on your wheels, but they won't do jack on your tires. Whereas the alkaline cleaners do well on tires as well. So that's where Brakebuster is so nice, because it's something you could just hand to somebody and they're like, I can just do my wheels and tires with this. And like, you can do the whole thing. Yeah. It's as simple as
but I wanted to put that out there. People seem to keep bringing this up, and I feel like we say it a lot, but it's different. So find out. I don't know if the Meguiar's non-acid is more towards an alkaline or if it's an acid replacement style.
Yeah. I welcome people to offer up like alternatives. If you see stuff where you're like, I don't know if anybody knows about this. This is really awesome. I want to share about it. Absolutely. Don't feel discouraged from doing that. It's just a lot of times people will see us recommend something or see us talk about something and they go, this product over here is way better.
Nick
and then it's like,
looked it up.
well, hold on. if you understood why we were explaining, this is something worth getting, usually there's more to it than just it's the best at this. It's like usually the user experience factors in heavily into everything we talk about.
Correct.
There's a lot of the I'm just getting into detailing. I want something that's not going to punish me if I use it wrong kind of stuff. We're trying to make sure that we cater to those needs.
Yeah.
So
Nick just popped on our horn, said that it is a alkaline base. So it is trending in that 12 to 13 and a half. So in that case, that is a personal preference thing, Cameron. So good on you, man. All right, so let's get into our weekends.
All right.
Who's going first?
Well,
my
Cameron
eyes
weighed in on the bilingual.
hurt
said
right
yes.
now. For
What
some
happened?
reason, I have a very sensitive eyes to this light.
Oh no!
It's like what's it called? A temp? When you have a temple.
You probably become a vampire. Did you get bitten this weekend that you know?
Yes. Well, Laszlo, yes, he bit me. He's probably the only
Laszlo.
because he's the only person that's going to transform me because we know that the Nandor's not going to do it. So, master. So funny. I need to watch that show over and over again.
So good.
I told you it's a palate cleanser. I watched it after I finished like we watched Mayor of Easttown last night. Then it's one of those things where I just throw on an episode of What We Do in the Shadows just to lighten up a little.
Just normalize.
Yeah,
a little
get
bit.
ready for bed and want to watch that, laugh. And then
It's like a little bite of ginger when you're having sushi. It's
exactly.
like, let's clue this out.
So funny. I can't wait for season 3 to come out.
I know somebody's going to be here soon.
It's going to be good.
Okay. So, do you want to go first? How was your weekend?
Yeah, I'll go first. So my weekend was kind of weird, man. So Friday night, Friday I had to go take the Subaru and to go get it, the tint done on it, right?
Yeah, tint and PPF.
So took it down to Steve's shop over at Garage Slick. He does fantastic work. Everything from his tint to his wrap, his PPF. He just does good stuff. And so we went down there. It ended up being a day-long event. Didn't want it to be a day-long event, but that's how it all played out. And we finished up the car, and at the end of the day, he's like, "Yeah, probably should just leave this thing here over the weekend." And I'm kind of like, "Well, dang it! If I would have known I would have left over the weekend, I would have left much sooner." Yeah, because then I had to have Jimmy drive me back to my house. Dane had to come pick me up from my house, drive me back to the rad company to get my car, and then drive home.
Yeah,
that was at like 7 or something.
Yeah, and but
it was a long day.
It was a long day. I was tired, so I think when I came home that night, I think I just I think I went to bed early if I remember right. I didn't do anything crazy, but I woke up on Saturday because we had early mornings back to back. We Thursday and Friday, and so I was just pretty tired. And so Saturday, me and Katie went out to go for a walk for a garage sale, but it had been raining and the weather was kind of not great, right? So no garage sales happening, nothing exciting. So we went to breakfast, went down to the griddle, right, and had some delicious. Dane, are you a big fan of the griddle?
I like the griddle. Yeah.
What do you like more, Express Cafe or the griddle?
Well, Express Cafe has a near and dear place in my heart. The people there matter to me, so
but I would argue to say that the quality of the food at the griddle is better.
I would say the quality of the food at the griddle is definitely up there. It's very good. Like Express Cafe, is it a gourmet dining experience? No, it's a diner. It's meant to be that. So it's different animals.
So would you say that Express Cafe is closer to Denny's than the griddle?
Well, that's a horrible insult.
Well, I'm just saying it's a traditional diner. Sherry's.
Yeah. I guess if you compare Denny's as being like the microwavable bacon compared to the delicious Meridian Meats bacon that Express Cafe would use. So it's that kind of difference, but it's a diner at the end of the day. So griddle, I will say, very good.
So to the griddle, I had a delicious breakfast. And then after that,
pancakes, because they put a lot of baking soda in their pancakes.
No, I had the French toast.
Okay, good.
I'm a French toast. Can I get a little bit of powdered sugar on the top? Really sets the mood.
They've got good French toast. They have horrible pancakes.
What I do is when I get the French toast, right, I get the powdered sugar. Ask for a side of sliced oranges.
Oh, okay. For fun?
I then squeeze the orange over the top of the French toast.
Citrus. You actually use the orange,
right? Okay. Dave, you like that? Where I'm going with that,
good.
Right?
That's good stuff, right?
A little bit of orange citrus over the powdered sugar, and then hit it with the maple syrup, right?
Yeah.
Slice into that thing.
The order is
My
important.
mouth is watering right now. Believe it.
Wow.
So
no, well done. That's a good choice, right there.
Yeah, and after that, it was just a running errands day, and I hate running errands, but I did take Katie to the junkyard for her first junkyard time. Went down to the Nampa, the Garrity exit junkyard, She'd never been to one.
I love that you took your wife on a wonderful junkyard date. I still have yet to do that. So I'm proud of you.
I was like, are you excited? And she's like, I kind of am because you make it sound like it's so awesome. And I said, it is awesome. It's like a treasure trove. It's amazing.
It's literally a treasure hunt.
And
I'm genuinely impressed. Shout out to Katie. Good on you for actually going to one of these.
So she went and we walked through and she's like, oh my God, this is like a dystopia, like a dystopian world,
future,
right? She's like, it's like, this is like weird. It's like everything's all, and so we started going through cars, and I told her I was on the lookout for a rear bumper.
Did she like that you had to pay $1 for her, but you got to flash your badge?
She thought that was hilarious.
Tell her about how I got one and we're VIPs now.
She was like, are you going to pay for me to get it? And I said, yeah. I'm like, you're going to get a stamp. She's like, oh, wow. And I said, you can use that it's Jalopy really Jungle official. For the day, right? And she's like, oh, wow. So sign in. We got in.
Always come back.
Told her I was looking for a rear bumper for the Honda Civic. I said I'd like to find one in white. That way it just makes it easier to respray because I doubt it's going to be in good condition. We ended up finding a 2000 Honda Civic, 4-door sedan. It's the same rear bumper on the coupe. Mm-hmm. And I saw it from the front, and I said, Katie, I'm like, I'm going to freak out if this rear bumper's in good shape. I'm going to, like, literally lose it. And she's like, okay, weirdo, right? And I walk around to the back, and I say, it's perfect. It's amazing. I'm, like, yelling in the junkyard. And she's like, okay, well, what should we do? I'm like, hand me the tools. We're taking this thing off. And she's like, well, how interesting. Like, she's like, how interesting that you just can take things off the cars here, you know. And I said, that's what you do, man. And so she kind of ventured out, went through some cars looking for things. She couldn't find anything cool. She's like, mostly trash in here. I said, every now
and then you'd look inside a center console or a glove box, though,
find
or
gift cards. You can
there's
find
surprises.
There's coins. Like, there's tons of change in there. Basically, the way I see it is that if I was broke, I could make my way into a junkyard, right? Pay the $1, get my $1 back in change, and then whatever else I take, I could probably pay for some.
What was in that WRX that one time? It was like
Mountain Dew, and condoms.
Condoms,
yeah. There was like a notebook or something too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
a personal journal actually. Yeah,
there was a journal. I read it.
It was very personal, and it was best left at the junkyard. But we did that, and then after there, we went to Target, which no guy should ever go to Target with his wife.
Here's the thing. You said something earlier. She didn't know how much the value of those items in the junkyard was.
So I got through her bumper, I pulled it off, and she's like, what is this? Going to be like a couple $100, or how does this work? And I said, it's going to be $39. She's like, no way. How much would it be if you bought it new? I said, new, this bumper would be like $300, and after paint, it would be like another $200. It'd be like a $500 bumper.
Yep. And
the paint's in good shape on this. It has a couple stress cracks, but it's white. You can't really see it that much. So I went to the checkout, and the guy's like, yep, $39. And she looks at me like, holy smokes. And so me and Levi are joking earlier. I'm like, I can provide for my family. Worst case scenario, right?
You might as well have just hunted an animal.
Oh no, this is like a display.
Skinned it.
Skinned it for her. Like you just showed her that you have skills and value.
He's going to be a hunter-gatherer. Just watch him.
Very, very impressed. And but after that, I went to Target. I hate going to Target with her. It's the worst thing ever because it just everything she sees she wants. And so, and then got a couple gift cards and went back to the house. And that's when, honestly, man, it was a pretty kickback night for the rest of the night. But the weather was bad. It was windy. It was kind of cold. I couldn't really get anything done on any of the cars. But what I ended up doing was I washed my BMW again. I did a rinseless on it. And then I coated a lot of the little bits on it. So I used the bottle of CSU we had left over from the Subaru, and it's probably on its way out in terms of lifespan. It needed to be used. And so I coated like the front fenders. I coated anything black that would have, get dirt and stuff. So the swing arm, I hit the mirrors, I hit everything like that. I don't want to coat the tank yet because I'm going to be wrapping it in some type of matte vinyl,
olive green,
doing something like that. And it was a pretty chill night, and then just organized some stuff. And that was when, and I'm gonna give you the cliff notes of this whole story. It was a whole thing. Basically, what I found out through an unidentified source that Katie's sister was gonna be pranking us on Saturday night.
Oh.
Right?
Doorbell
and I was like, what kind of prank is being done, right? They wouldn't give me any information, right? But I knew that Katie's sister was going to prank us. So I forwarded the information to Katie. I said, hey, I think we're getting pranked tonight. what do you want to do about this? And she says, well, let's do some research. We go to her sister's TikTok, find the things that she's liked. It looks like she's liked a video where somebody pranked a house by weaning their yard and taking a bunch of, basically it's taking a hot dog, putting it on like a stick, like a skewer, and sticking it in your grass.
The audacity.
But it's like 100 hot dogs. Right?
My God. Well, it sounds delicious.
So
it sounds like sporking, but with hot dogs.
Yeah, it looks very odd when you see like a front, like when you see grass filled with hot dogs.
I'm just going to say, this is some very Utah, Southern Idaho type stuff.
It was some pretty...
I remember from high school.
It was pretty, yeah.
I
Junior
think this
high,
sounds
too.
delicious.
So anyway, so we find out
there,
that this is
pick 'em off.
possibly this game plan, right? So I said, Katie, what do you want to do? She's like, well, I have a plan. What we're going to do is we're going to wait until she leaves her house because they have each other on Find My Friends, the sisters do. So she's like, I'm going to watch for her to leave, probably around like midnight is when I'm guessing she's going to do it.
Yeah.
When she leaves, we leave to hot dog her yard, right? We go weenie her yard.
Yeah.
So I said, that sounds like a good idea, and that she'll be totally like mind blown because she's going to go and weenie our yard and come home to a bunch of weenies in her yard, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we go to the store because we have to prep for this.
Yeah.
We buy 160 hot dogs.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Anthony, that's like $500.
No. Do you want to know how much it was?
Go see Star Wars. What's that, $10?
Do you want to know how much 160 hot dogs actually is?
How much was it?
$21.
Well, that was a pretty good price.
I can't believe how cheap hot dogs are. That's amazing to me.
Did you go to Winco so you could save
we went
money?
we went to Fred Meyer.
Wow.
Oh,
Impressive.
wow. That's...
Yeah. Did you get some bar
Winco
S?
would have been a lot
That's
cheaper.
why
Yeah,
you got the bar
bar
S
S.
dogs.
Yeah, we couldn't have.
the bar
we were,
S.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Maybe
done
you were
that to
gonna
Ballpark Franks
go
or anything.
Ballparks. And I'd be
No,
like,
no,
wow,
no.
that's a lot of
What do you
money.
think we are? Made of money.
So we bought these 160 hot dogs, and then we bought the little skewers.
Yeah.
So then me and Katie came home, and we started, sticking the skewers, and we wanted to prep them, right? So I
Yeah.
used my
Some
wash
skewer
and rinse
prep.
bucket
Yeah.
to start lining these hot dogs up right inside this bucket, and we filled up 2 whole buckets of hot dogs.
Impressive.
Right? So me and Katie waited it out. We said, okay, Find My Friends. We're just going to wait for our plan of attack. Come around midnight, she's like, man, she still hasn't left yet. And I said, really? Like, what do you want to do? Because I'm getting kind of tired. She's like, oh, we'll probably head out right now. Let's just go. So we pack up the hot dogs at midnight, and we drive out there, right? By the time
Doesn't
we
she
got
have cameras at her house?
correct. So by the time we got there, it was about 12:30,
Yeah.
right? The plan is that while she was going to be at our house,
Right.
I was going to go up to her Ring doorbell, duct tape it, right?
Snap.
Hide it, and then do our dirty work.
How are you gonna know? How is she gonna know though if you walked up with the duct tape?
She would know. She would get a notification, but basically how this would have looked, I would have came from the side of the house because it's a
sneaky.
recessed door,
Yeah.
and I would have just came around and then bam, one shot onto the doorbell.
Nice.
I'm not trying to teach people how to steal things, or
I
obviously.
know, it
how
kind
to-
of seems like you're painting a really
Feels
easy
like-
picture
yeah.
for how to...
don't do this for any other purpose. But anyway, so we get to her house, and her car is still in the driveway.
Oh.
Katie left her phone at home in case her sister
smart.
wanted to
Yeah.
find her on
Yeah.
Find My Friends, right?
Right.
It was a whole... Trust me, there's a lot of thought
There was a lot
went
of
into this.
very
Wow,
deep.
yeah, a lot of strategy.
So we parked in her, kind of by her house, not in front of her house, and her car was still there. So Katie's like, we're just gonna have to stake this out. I said, for how long? And she's like, I don't know, maybe an hour, maybe 2. So we
Wow.
sat there.
So your wife, just so everyone's aware, your wife was willing to sit out front in a car
yeah.
from midnight to 2 a.m.
Yep.
with 2 buckets of hot dogs
Committed.
Exactly. Yes. And,
solely to prank her sister.
Yeah, pretty
Wow.
crazy.
And she left her phone at home, so she couldn't kill that time with her phone.
So she used my phone to watch TikToks.
I was like,
so
preemptive pranking.
I was just, I've never been on a stakeout before. I thought it was very interesting. And it's pretty dark where she lives. She lives behind the Albertsons on Vista.
Yeah. And you guys live opposite end of town. You had to drive quite a ways.
I will say
It's like a 30-minute drive.
that behind,
hanging out in the dark over
behind
there is a little
that
shady.
Albertsons
It's
on
sketchy.
Vista
It's
is about as
sketchy.
sketchy as it gets.
Yeah.
Because there was
zombies
there
out
was
there.
drug dealers right next to her house. Right.
Yeah.
These guys were pretty rough looking.
They look
And
like zombies.
They were in the back of like some type of like van, like old Suburban or something like that. They had, it looks like it was piled up like the grapes of
They
wrath.
were excited to see those hot
And-
dogs. They were going to eat them.
Well, how Dane has seen my my sister-in-law's house.
Yeah,
So
we helped carry over some appliances.
She lives on a corner, literally right next to the Albertsons.
Yeah, I've been
and
there.
these people
Not
are right
the house, but
behind
at the
it.
Vista Albertsons.
Yeah.
So it's so these guys were a hot dog throw away.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably say
Literally
20 yards.
Yeah.
And they're wide awake at 1:30 in the
Yeah.
morning, right? They're doing weird things. Like one of the guys is out just riding a bike around, and then the other
getting
one
some
was
exercise.
like, the other one was like grabbing bags off his things and like looking for something. But then he was
he
just
had to
like
find something
But
that
then
he
he
lost.
like who'd go and lay down in the grass for a couple minutes and get back up. And keep in mind, we're watching these people in pure darkness,
Right.
And then I see a bunch of stray cats. There's all these animals that are just out and about. I think I saw a possum. I'm like, what is going on out here? This is strange.
Typical late night in Boise.
It's a Saturday night. Everybody knew there's this
you brought
truck
hot
sitting here
dogs.
with
They all think
2
they're
buckets
so-
of hot dogs.
We sat there until 2:30 in the morning. And I said, Katie, we either have to do this now or never. And she's like, okay, you're going to get out and do it. Then the homeless people, right, or these crackheads, okay, probably can't say that on here, I'm sorry, but they started walking over towards, like, they started just walking in the area. They were hovering around her house. And I'm thinking, like, dude, I don't want to get out and start hot dogging this yard. And then they think it's okay, like this is like a house that they can mess with or something, right? And so Katie's like, I don't think it's a good idea because I don't want, my sister lives here, and I don't want this to be like.
You don't want to draw.
I don't want to draw attention to this house, because apparently the house she lives in used to be a drug house where
she's already had problems,
and she's already had problems.
Yeah,
so I didn't want to do anything that would start anything else. So I said, Katie, what do you want to do? We have 160 hot dogs in the back of this car. She's like, I'm kind of tired. Do you just want to go back home? I said, is there anybody that we can do this to on the way back home? Like anybody.
Yeah, like
because
Levi's
we
front
did
yard.
all
The
this
thought
prep.
to feed the homeless didn't cross your mind?
So we did all
Where
this.
are we? We're
did
close to
all
Levi's
this
house.
prep.
Let's hit that.
And we couldn't think of anybody off the top of my head. I did think about you. But I was thinking to myself, like,
I would be very confused.
But I was thinking, like, I don't want it to be I don't want people to think that this is a mean thing, and I don't want it to be a. So we came back home.
I would be interested, but then I would eat those hot dogs.
Yeah.
I was going to say, why not offer them to all the guys just out there at night and like, you know what, we don't need these here.
I know, but I had them all in my buckets.
Can't leave the buckets.
I can't leave my buckets. Those are my
set
nice
them all
wash,
down
but they have
on
the
the
Gamma
ground.
Seal lids on them.
Okay.
The grit guards
I'm
in them.
sure there would have been a way. Here, you get a skewer, you get a skewer. Okay, that's like 20 of them. Great. we
Honestly,
knocked out a
and they
few.
were dirty. They were sitting in detailing buckets.
Yeah, they're covered in.
They were covered in chemicals. I don't
Actually,
wheel
that might
cleaner.
be illegal
So-
to give somebody tampered food.
Hey, maybe
so,
it would have been better off. But anyway, so I came back. We came back home. We were so bummed.
Yeah.
We were like,
I'm sorry.
we felt
Yeah.
like, wow, what a waste of a night, and what a bad, like, it was just not great. Karen Racina says, Anthony's really doing a good job of keeping people from moving to Idaho, talking about the drug dealers. Okay, Cameron, there are drug dealers. I literally saw 2 drug deals go down, right? Guy on a bike shows up, jumps in the back of the Suburban, gets out, back on the bike, has a backpack now. Didn't have a backpack before, and takes off. Katie said, that's a drug deal. I said, oh, that was absolutely a drug deal.
Yeah.
And I don't, so don't move here.
or just a restock.
Or just a restock, probably. So, anyway, we were disappointed. It was just, when you just feel defeated, like we wasted all this time, but it was such a good idea. And we found out the next day, Katie's sister was like, oh yeah, that prank. Yeah, I wasn't going to follow through with it. To be honest, I was asleep at 10 and my Ring doorbell, the battery's low on it. So you probably could have done it and gotten away with it. We were so mad.
I love it.
And other
Honestly,
than that,
that's
though,
the best prank of all, though. Just making it work for no.
Yeah, it
result.
sucked, man. I was so mad.
That's quality right there. Just faking
And that
it.
was pretty much it. And then Sunday was a pretty relaxed day. Went out to Katie's grandparents' house out in Middleton for like a late Mother's Day thing. Her great grandma turned 97. Pretty crazy.
Oh. Wow.
And she has a lot of great stories. 97 years old, and she's 100% with it. She's good.
That's cool.
She's quick. And that was it, man. And then the rest of the night, just mowed my lawn.
Yeah.
Did diagonal stripes in the lawn this time. So normally I kind of go around in like a circular, and I cut in. I go closer and closer in the same pattern of my. Does that make sense? I do a perimeter to inward, right? This time I did diagonal lines, thinking that it would look a lot better, and you know what? It did.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine
G.
it
Dave
did.
is coming in and says, I'm late, but when I heard Anthony had a bucket full of wieners, I thought he was celebrating his anniversary. Wow. Thank you, G.
Great. That's great.
We'll throw
Shelby,
Shelby's out here too.
Throwing down some info. Get the Great Harvest French toast, the cinnamon burst bread, and make your own French toast at home. Shelby, fun fact: my sister-in-law owns the Great Harvest bread here in Boise, so
That's awesome.
get that bread all the time.
And that sounds
Well, we
Good
used to
idea.
go over there for lunch all the time, and we stopped
we should
going.
go there today.
We haven't been there forever.
I
I
got a
love
gift
their
card.
sandwiches.
Also, hi to Dirk.
We need to do that.
I
Dirk, what's
love their
going on,
sandwiches.
man? How are you,
And Mike here,
Mike
popping
Buckwash?
making sure he knew he placed a huge order last week and
Nice.
it's set to deliver today. So he's
Sweet.
pretty stoked to get
Awesome.
it.
So then,
Thanks,
how'd the
Mike.
rest of you got back? You didn't do the thing. She wasn't going to do it.
Dude, it
how'd your
was-
Sunday go then?
Well, that was it. I mean, that was it. Just went over there and so went to Katie's grandparents' house and then came home and I just mowed the lawn, did diagonal lines, and I
How
was
late
just
was it you were mowing the lawn?
I mowed at 8:30.
Was it
Okay.
very wet?
So it
Yeah, I
was
figured it'd
not
be
wet
damp.
because I had refertilized, right?
Okay.
My front yard's looking pretty. My front lawn, the quality of the grass is looking great.
Yeah.
I've been also thinking about thatching and overseeding.
You need to thatch. You do need to thatch. I thatched.
But it's fresh sod from less than a year old.
Well, then I probably wouldn't thatch till next year.
Yeah.
I thatched this year. It was the first thing I did. I did it back in like March,
Yeah.
just to get all the undergrowth out.
Yeah.
My grass is very green right now
Is
because
it?
of all that rain. However, I do have a couple spots where you can see where I've been parking cars and where chemicals have been dripping and burning the grass.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I may have to limit my washing on the grass, but mine's looking real sweet. In the backyard, I just transplanted all that front grass that I cut out, moved it to the back. So
Yeah.
I need to see your grass to see how lush it is.
It's very
Sounds-
lush. It's
sounds
very lush in the
nice.
front. My neighbor came by yesterday to compliment me, and he even said, he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, thanks for asking there, Kyle." So I actually hit it again with more fertilizer, and he's like, "Wow, is there such thing as too much fertilizer?" I'm like, "Probably."
Yeah,
I'm
it'll
like,
turn it yellow.
"Yeah, probably." but it's going fantastic.
Too much, it'll burn it.
Yeah, it turns like, it's not yellow, but like it lightens the
It does
green
lighten it
kind of.
up.
It doesn't darken it as much. And so, anyway, but did that. Thought that looked pretty good. Overseeded the backyard because of all the patches that my dogs have just been killing. And that was pretty much it, man. I was like I said, it was a pretty low key weekend. I didn't get to go out on the motorcycle at all. I really wanted to,
Yeah.
but I did order my very first nice leather jacket.
Did you go down
got
to
a new
Wilson's
helmet,
Leather
too.
and pick that up?
No. So I
go to Wilson's
there's
Leather?
There's a motorcycle motorcycle company, I should say. They do design and custom work for cafe racers and all sorts of stuff.
The typo here is killing me.
What? Can you guys try something out? What?
I'm just going to put it on screen.
Dead
Guys,
undergrass.
shine some light on what thatching
God.
is. Is it where you get rid of the
Yeah,
dead
that's how we get rid of
undergrad?
thatch.
He means undergrass, but dead undergrass. Woof.
Thatch, the undergrad. We get rid of him that way.
Yeah.
by
That's a
thatching
teen
him.
horror movie right there.
So
okay.
yeah, undergrowth. It's basically all the dead grass that's kind of just stuck underneath, and it
Yeah.
also happens when the grass starts to grow too thick from over mowing. So like when you start to mow every week, the grass starts to kind of learn that it doesn't grow as high; it'll grow wider, and so you'll get it super thick. And the problem is if you have too much water, you get mushrooms, you get all kinds of stuff. So you dethatch it so that it can breathe a little bit. Same reason people aerate. They go through and they'll
Aerating's
spike-
tough
they'll
though.
spike the
well,
grass.
well, what's it called when you do those like plugs? And
that's aerating.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
but if
hate
you're doing
that.
it where you're actually just spiking into it, they have like rollers you can do. That's
Yeah.
way easier.
I would want to do a roller.
I haven't
think.
done that in years, but it did help.
Did it
It
help?
helps
Yeah.
just let it kind of breathe. Same thing as like that.
Let it eat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let it
our,
eat.
our lawns are pretty old compared to his. So
Yeah.
yours is like brand new. It doesn't need a lot of this stuff yet.
Yeah, not yet. But anyway, so I got myself a nice new leather jacket. I ordered it off of my favorite friend. My friends were at Revzilla, right? It's probably one of
yeah.
my favorite places to order motorcycle
yes.
stuff from. But there's a company called Roland Sands Designs.
Yeah, Roland Sands, great designer, motorcycle guy,
Hey,
custom
have
builder.
you heard?
I have heard of him. What he was known for was taking the Harleys and building kind of a cafe rail.
Yeah. Off road,
street-
on road,
like
little bit of
street
everything.
battle, like those battle bikes, like naked
Yeah.
bike. But he was doing it during the custom chopper scene, the same time as a lot of the Jesse James and Billy Lane and a lot of these custom chopper builders. Roland was doing this, but still taking that kind of crotch rocket street bike style,
Yeah.
and kind of bringing it into the chopper custom
hey, that's
motorcycle
cool.
builder scene. So
Yeah.
Roland does some really cool stuff.
So his leather jackets, I don't know, the company,
Yeah.
are killer. They're like some of the
looks good.
nicest jackets apparently
Yeah.
you can get. And so I've never had I've had a coated leather jacket.
Yeah.
So I've never had like a real
Like
like
a
nice leather. But apparently on
Fine leather goods. Truly.
well,
one of
this
the nicest
one,
things.
because I've always wanted one. I just could never found one that fit good, and they say that this one fits amazing. It's called the Roland Sands Jagger jacket, right? Is what it is, and it is a buffalo skin.
Very
is what it is,
Yeah.
and it's about 1 millimeter buffalo skin is what it is. So, and it says it's already supple. It says it's already nice.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. I'm like, man, do you just let those patina? I wonder. Do you let because Levi, have you ever owned a leather jacket?
Yes.
So what's the plan? Do you let it patina? Do you maintenance it? What do you
I
do with leather?
didn't have a raw.
Okay.
Like I had a black
Like coated?
coated leather.
Okay, yeah.
Jacket that I had when I was a young man.
Yeah.
Used to rock that, and I wore it for a number
As
of
the
years.
Reverend, or was
Yes.
this okay?
I wore it for a number of years, paired with my favorite hoodie. That was kind of my look. I had a hoodie with a leather jacket over it. That was
That's
what
how
I
you
wore.
got Carly, I think.
That possibly, but that was how
It's
I
also
rocked.
how you look like a guy behind Albertsons.
I rocked that. I rocked that from 1999 until early 2005. That was my main look.
Okay.
Jeans, my motorcycle boots,
Yeah.
cuffed jeans, and then that hoodie with the jacket. That was just kind of what I always wore. It was my outdoor wear.
Yeah.
But no, I just cared for it like you care for leather. I use a nice leather cream on it. Try and keep it clean. Remove any oil or grease or anything from it. But I did it. It was early on, basic. Now, some of the new stuff, new leather
Yeah.
that I'm rocking, I've let that patina. That's my wallet.
Wow. That's come a
let
long
that-
way since you first introduced
Yeah.
it to me.
Yeah.
And that is a raw finish, smooth finish
So it's
leather.
nice though.
I mean, are there? I guess what I'm wondering. There are leather people out there.
There are.
There are people that are obsessed with leather goods.
Yeah,
and I realize
I'm
this
really
by
starting to get to that
Well,
point.
because you guys know me, I'm crazy. I look up reviews on everything because I want to make sure I'm buying the right thing, right? So I did reviews on this jacket. I wanted to find the right jacket. I did a bunch of leather jacket reviews, and there's just a lot of really there's a lot of talk about leather. Just people that really go in depth and they say, "Oh, this is not as thick," or "I don't like the goat skin. I like the cowhide. I don't like the cowhide. I like the buffalo leather.
Yeah.
I like the kangaroo leather." So, for those people, I wonder what's the importance of that leather? Is it the suppleness? Is there a reason why people are so into it?
I don't know. I think it's personal preference.
Because you
at
have
some
a whole
point.
sheet of leather.
I
What's that
do.
from?
I have a bolt of leather. It's from my great grandfather.
But what kind of animal?
So
cow?
obviously there's some sentimental value there.
It's just a bolt of leather.
Yeah.
Like
You could
I
do
could
things
make
with it,
stuff
but it's
with
just
it,
kind of nice.
But
to
I just have it, and I like having it.
For
I don't
me,
know
it's
why.
the smell. I just
Yeah,
like
it
the
smells
smell.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dane, could you ever rock a leather jacket?
Oh, I've had several actually, and some
You
were
have?
like incredibly nice ones. Like I was gifted a kind of crazy expensive one when I was in like high school or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it a
Doesn't fit
Robert
me anymore.
Comstock?
All I know is it was like $500 or $600. Like it was a nice
Yeah,
leather
really nice
jacket
stuff,
by
yeah.
my standards. Certainly, I had like a cheap bomber jacket, and junior high and high school, I thought it was so cool and stuff. But I like that stuff. But yeah, like the untreated leather is definitely a whole different animal. Like the whole like King Ranch seat style
Yeah,
kind of
that
deal.
aniline.
You really got to be. You got to be into that. I don't mind having the coated kind.
So
though, where
I
it's
have a new little
nicer. As long as it's
binder
supple.
that holds my notes.
Yeah.
A little notebook. I like that because it's a raw leather. It's
Yeah.
an aniline leather.
That's nice.
I bought this wallet so that I could have a couple leather goods, durable leather goods that are on me at all times. I like. I don't know. As I get older, I kind of like the look of that stuff. The more raw. I could probably see myself buying a raw leather jacket or something like a buffalo, which is very soft, a little more give to it.
Well, do you know what I think? I think honestly,
Hot leather talk is what we're doing right now.
I think the appeal of leather to a lot of people, right? Especially when it comes to like once you get older in life, I think when you see leather, you're a person that has gone through tons of lower quality
Agreed.
things in
Yeah.
life, right? Like, and you've gone through all that stuff, right? And you think, okay, how do I not have to keep going through all this stuff and get something that I want to buy once, I want to buy it right, or I want something that's going to last me years and years and years and just be a good purchase up front. I think that that's probably a major appeal of probably high quality leather goods, because people think, okay, this screams quality. The wear and tear that it's going to get is actually just going to make it nicer, and that I'm also not going to lose a lot of value on this particular leather good.
It becomes like an heirloom item too, especially once you have children. It's kind of like, is there something that I could give? Like, you look at all your personal stuff and you're like, I have an iPhone.
It's not really something.
An Apple Watch. I don't have an item that I don't know if I can pass down.
Yeah.
Or give to that next generation. Because if you do think about it, let's just say, Dane, that you guys decide to have children someday, maybe 10 years from now, and you're late, but you only have that one.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, one and done. But then you're 40 at that point. How many years do you have left? Right? So let's say you live to be 80. Right? So you've got 40 years. So what stuff do you have now? Do you think that you could pass on? Because I have things from my grandparents.
Do you?
I have things. My sister has furniture from my grandparents.
I have an entire vehicle.
You have an entire vehicle.
The thing is,
but it's thinking about like stuff that maybe your parents. What are things that your dad has that, let's say, he passes away, that he could give to you? Is there something? Is there an item?
First off, I want to stop there and just say everything that Jeff Hennen buys is the utmost quality thing.
Yeah,
so anything that he buys, he does not cheap out on anything.
He's still got his trombone from high school and stuff like that. So like old vintage items and stuff. There's definitely like the old. Their old recording equipment that they had when they used to play on the roads, some of those things are still around. Other stuff got sold off to help fund other stuff. So,
but let's just say like
deal.
20 years from now, say 20, 30 years from now, your dad passes away. Your mom goes, hey, I got a couple things. You and Corey can kind of pick and choose. Is there an item? You don't have to say it. But is there an item in your head that you're like, man, I would love to have that just in remembrance of my father that I would put in my house? Or
sure, sentimental value, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's thinking that. So it goes in line with these items that you create.
I know to some viewers this is like horribly macabre, but it's just
I think
it's
very interesting.
It's thinking of those items that you would have in your collection that you would then like. I have a bowl that was my grandmother's. It was a candy dish that she had that's silver. And then etched and frosted glass. And I know the thing is probably from the 50s, 60s. I use it to keep my keys and my wallet in every day. That's where that's what I put. We have another hammered metal bowl, but I love just taking my keys in my wallet and I put them in there. So it sits next to the other bowl that's kind of a catch-all for everything. But the little bowl that sits, and I have it sitting on top of my grandfather's World War II, like his first instruction manual that the Army gave him. Like, hey, you joined the Army. Here you go. Here's your handbook.
Yeah.
I have that.
Yeah.
And it's called A Soldier's Life, and it's everything like how you get paid, if you want to request time off, any of that kind of. It's just this notebook that the War Department put out. I have those things, and it's something from him, something from her, and I just put my stuff in. And and I look at that and I go, I think that's really cool. It's really the only thing I use daily are those two items, and they just sit there as a display, so to speak.
Yeah, oftentimes it is. It's something that's a larger, more durable good, or if it's small, it's still a more durable good. It's the things that generally aren't the plastic, throwaway, replaceable stuff. It's going to be something a little more substantial. So in the case of like my mom's parents, it was a lot of artwork. My mom's mom was a painter.
Same
that
with
kind of
my
stuff.
grandmother.
A lot of that. So there's a good mix of art and like old Native American artifacts and stuff, some just like cool things that they've got. But yeah, it's not always stuff.
Well,
obviously,
Dane,
you have memories. But
you had it. What could have been an heirloom, right? It still technically is, and it's been within the family, and you already gave it away.
Yeah.
What is that one thing, Dane?
Honestly, I don't know what he's getting at. So
I know
the
what it
tiki
was.
bar.
Oh, the tiki bar. Okay.
The
yes,
tiki bar, Dane. That was one of your highest quality bits in your house.
I gave it to my brother.
I know.
So
are you going to get it back from him?
You did keep it in the family. That's true.
It's still in the family.
Okay.
It's
the one thing that he did lose out on was the mighty Ragnarok.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Which was a well-built engine.
Which there is a history of Suburbans in my family.
There's a lot of history in that Suburban, am I right?
You're mistaking that with the earlier one.
Wait a minute.
I'm just messing with
But I think that's one thing that once you get older in life,
Yeah.
you start appreciating the higher quality things in all shapes and forms, right?
Yeah.
And while I still love cheap stuff, don't get me wrong, I still have a lot of that. Like I don't want to lose an arm and a leg. Buying certain things. There are certain things that I think, okay, this will be pretty nice. So, for example, when I was a kid, I was 16, right? 15. Or was it 14 or 15? Going in my first year of high school. There was, obviously your cliques in high school, and there's different, ways to dress and things like that.
Future prison.
But one of the cool in looks was bringing back the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Just like these Gen Zers are trying to bring back the 90s, right? Which is...
I saw a kid this morning, and I was like,
man.
I wore that outfit when I was 14, and I was a dork when I wore that outfit, but you're wearing it to Boise
it's
State
the same
today,
thing,
huh?
right? I was 14, 15, and all these kids were starting to dress in all the stuff from the 80s.
Technicolor ski jacket?
And the
right.
kids didn't understand, and then now you have all the people that are wanting to, look like the 90s. You have kids that are literally taking the highest quality cameras and editing them to make them look old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mike, why are you making that look vintage? I shot that on a Sony
Filters
A7
with
III.
names like VHS vibes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, do you even know what a VHS player is?
Like you have never experienced a VHS player.
I had a
in your
VHS
life.
rewinder when I was a kid. It was my favorite thing I had. So I didn't have to do it by hand.
Yeah, it just goes fast.
When you've dealt with an 8mm
otherwise-
reel,
Sports
talk
cars.
to me.
Otherwise,
okay?
I had to get the Expo marker. I'd get the top of an Expo marker, stick the cap in, and then spin it back.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So anyway, what I'm trying to say though is that when I was a kid, I was into the 80s. I had a Pink Floyd shirt, right? And I had a Metallica shirt. I had all my my cool shirts, and I was telling my parents how I really wanted a leather jacket because that was the cool thing. My great aunt Emily, my great uncle passed away, and she said, "Hey, he had this leather jacket. We got it in Italy."
Yeah.
Back in like 82. It's really nice. She's like, I want you to have it. And it was like, I'm guessing they probably paid maybe $250 back then, which would make it like a $600-$700 jacket now. And I got it, and I didn't appreciate it at all.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like everybody, even my dad was like, "Wow, that's a nice leather jacket," or "That's a really nice thing." Take care of that, keep it oiled, keep it looking good. Dude, I wore it. I used it. I abused it. And then I don't even know what happened to it. I think my mom donated it. But all I could think of was, dang, I really wish I would have appreciated something like that a little bit more. But I don't think you appreciate the quality of those type of goods until you get to an older age.
No, and that's true. And when I was 16, I had a bearskin jacket that my dad had that he used to wear. It wasn't real bearskin, I don't think. It was just a big, puffy leather lined, or leather outside, like suede. The inside was like, like the sheep, like wool, like dark wool. It was a cool jacket. I used to wear it in high school all the time. I remember my dog peed on it.
Oh,
and so I was like, oh, it smells. And I just threw it away. Right. And I think back now, I'm like, man, I wish I still had that coat. I loved that coat, but I was 16 years old and I thought, well, that smells like dog pee. I'm never going to be able to clean it. Could have taken it to the laundromat. Could have had it dry cleaned. Could have spent about $10 and had it cleaned appropriately, but I didn't do that. I just was like,
treasures are thrown away every day just because people don't understand that a lot of things are fixable.
So speaking of that, so this weekend I started, I had a car. So detailed a GMC Denali XL, and really nice, 50,000 miles. It's an 07 with 50,000 miles on it.
So first year of that newer body style.
Really nice, beautiful maroon like your mom's. I mean, just a gorgeous color, black leather, black carpet, super clean. I mean, easy detail to do. I probably had about 4 hours tops into it. That's my sweet spot. Are these 4-hour details for $300? That's kind of like, it's just a happy, like I enjoy it because it gives me enough time to really feel like I'm accomplishing something, but I'm not spending an entire weekend on it.
Yeah.
So Saturday, woke up and kind of just hung out. We were lazy because it was raining so much. So we got kind of lazy that day. The couple had dropped the car off Friday afternoon, so we worked on it.
That's cool.
Oh,
Umberto.
rad. There you go, Umberto. And I just kind of hung out, didn't really do a lot. So had to drive over here, pick up the Suburban because last week Dan Digna had borrowed the Elantra. So my entire fleet was here. I had the Elantra here, the Suburban here, and the red truck. So I drove the Elantra home, picked up the Suburban, and came up here on Saturday. Me and Augie picked it up, drove back, picked up my mom, took her up to Home Depot, bought a rug for her new place, put it in the Suburban, drove it back to her place. We got some lunch, had lunch with my mom, me and Augie, while Carly and Hadley went to Walmart and ran some errands and stuff. So then came home, and then I proceeded to start working on the car. So I got the interior done. Just spent about an hour and a half, knocked out the interior, steamed it all, used some Express interior cleaner, just scrubbed everything down, and then just dynamic dressed everything. Finished that, then sat down and hung out with the kids. We went and got some dinner, just chilled out, relaxed. It really took Saturday like it was supposed to be. It was super rainy, very lazy day, just kind of chilled out, hung out.
Like those days.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I was planning on planting some flowers, but my flowers got delayed till today. I got 4 gardenias coming that I'm going to plant in the front of our house.
About those.
But the rain, it was so bad. I thought I was going to dig some holes. I was going to do all this stuff, but it rained so much on Saturday that it just wasn't worth it. And it was such a mud pile right there. So then Sunday, woke up and I thought, gosh, I really got to finish this truck just so I can get it done. Check it off the list.
Yeah.
So Sunday, just quickly, after chilling out, hanging out, watching some TV with the kids, I ran outside. I told Carly, I was like, I'm going to knock this out, and had the car out of the driveway, parked by 12:30. I started at about 11. So really, I had 3 hours tops in this car.
Okay.
Pulled it out, parked it, took some photos, texted you guys, and then me and the kids went up to Home Depot. And one of the things that we're trying to do, you guys know I have a love for ravens and crows.
Correct. Yeah.
Something that I've been really trying to keep an eye on, the ones that are in my neighborhood, because the ones in your neighborhood are the ones you can catch. Not catch them, but hopefully get them to be like on my property.
Yeah, it's not like Pokemon here, guys.
Yeah,
Crow doesn't taste great.
Yeah, so my goal is to have these friends, these bird friends, so to speak. So I've been really watching where they are. Yeah. Trying to keep, you guys know, I've got a bag of beef jerky here for when we see them, ready to go. Yeah. Gabe was ready to throw it away. I said, Gabe, those are for the ravens and the crows. And he goes, what? And put it at your desk. And I go, not close enough. I need to be at the ready when they're in the parking lot.
Second I hear them,
yeah, there's got to be jerky available. So we've been doing that at our house. I've been throwing little food and peanuts and things because apparently they love peanuts. So I noticed that our neighbor that just passed away, big peanut guy, he'd always have a fresh bowl of peanuts on his porch to feed to the squirrels, and he would throw them in his front driveway for the ravens. He throws tons of seeds and nuts all over his yard. That's what he'd do. He's got deer that show up every night. There's a whole herd of deer. Apparently now there's a skunk in our neighborhood that's so bold and brazen. He cruised up to our front door yesterday while we were reading. We were sitting in the living room reading. We're reading Where the Red Fern Grows to the kids.
Yeah.
Hadley was looking out the window. She screamed, skunk. I look out the window. He's right there on our front mat hanging out. And Sherlock, our cat, is sitting right next to him. And they're just hanging out. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. Hadley's screaming. The skunk just walks by, keeps on going, goes to the next house next door.
Yeah, that thing's not afraid of people anymore.
He is not afraid. So, needless to say, I need to get my attack crows and attack ravens built up. So, basically taking the crows and ravens. So we thought, what are some of the things that we need? Well, one, we've added a hummingbird feeder because we do actually have hummingbirds that cruise up to the window. So got that going with the fresh hummingbird nectar in it. Went and got ourselves a small bird feeder for the songbirds and finches and whatnot that are in the area to come enjoy some delicious seed. We also ordered a bird bath finally. Got that ordered.
Carly's probably happy about that.
So hopefully they'll be here today or tomorrow, and we can put that in the front yard, get that all set up so birds can start taking baths. Next step, I need to get some corn cobs and some peanuts so that I can get those crows, because all day Sunday they were on 2 trees. There's about 6 of them on 2 trees for the entire day talking. And I wanted to make sure that if they're talking to each other, they're talking about, hey, look, that guy over there who's washing those cars, he's going to start getting, look at the peanuts he's throwing out there. Look at some of the snacks and treats that he's building, because they're very smart birds. That's what they do. So they tell and talk about where they find food, where they go. I've been doing my research on these birds. So it was a fun Sunday though. But then we saw a guy just walking down our street taking pictures, which I thought was kind of strange. But anyway, all in all, it was a pretty nice, simple, easy weekend. Did that, and then you texted that picture that you were at Home Depot. That was what we were doing, was getting birdseed.
Was that the Federal Way Home Depot?
Yeah.
What were you doing all the way out there, Dane?
Because I was coming back here. I was just basically going in a big round loop. Sometimes I just like to drive for the scenic sake.
He's just enjoying himself.
So yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we were doing.
It was closest Home Depot to when I needed it. So I was like, okay, I just had lunch. Yeah, the Home Depot's right here. I used to work here anyway, so I know my way around.
You used to work at that one?
I used to work at all the Home Depots.
Yeah. Which one was your favorite?
Depended on the day, honestly. Sometimes you wanted to avoid certain people.
Really? No.
So
there were cool ones too.
The Federal Way one was a little busy, but that was what we were doing, was getting bird seed, getting some little seeds. Hadley got some corn to plant and some carrots, because Augie has his pumpkin patch going. So Hadley kind of wanted to have her planter going. So
I'm really wanting to know, Levi, how's
no idea yet. So we're trying to work on getting him to drink. He's been drinking those Ensure Max proteins. Yeah, they have a low sugar count, so they're 7 milligrams of carbohydrates, so very low sugar.
7 grams.
7 grams of carbohydrates on them. So they're low sugar but high protein, almost 30 grams of protein. So I'm trying to get him to drink those. He's only drinking about 4 or 5 ounces of those every morning. I need him to drink more, but he's not. It's hard. This weekend was hard, just trying to get him to eat. However, on Saturday, I just let him not eat. I literally didn't feed him. Mm-hmm. He ate breakfast. He had some cereal Saturday morning, and then I just didn't feed him. And then at like 1 o'clock, he was like, are we going to get some lunch somewhere? And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe. We'll think about that. Are you hungry enough to eat? And he was like, well, I'm kind of getting hungry. And then when my mom, it was about 2 o'clock, we stopped at KFC, and he annihilated a 3-piece chicken strip basket. Just annihilated it. Ate it like nothing. I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to get him hungry. You know, the time where we feed first thing, noon usually, and then 5 o'clock for dinner. We may have to adjust our times so that he's not so he's actually eating because he's hungry, not because he just doesn't want to eat. So the other thing we noticed is he is starting to get a little heartburn, and that was something he's had since the day he was born. Mm-hmm. So that might be kind of a reason why he doesn't eat. There might be some foods that are giving him heartburn that he's not, doesn't like eating and doesn't want to eat, and that's why he's kind of holding off. But he's not telling us that kind of stuff.
Do you have him on any kind of like...
We used to when he was a baby.
Does he like bananas?
No, he hates bananas. With a passion.
And he needs to stop hating things.
Well, you could give him Tums and say they're Smarties.
He's fine eating Tums, so Carly gives him those. Okay. So,
because those are pretty hard. They look like candy.
Oh, so anything looks like candy, he's happy with it. Yeah. So, all right. He was totally fine with that. So, if I can get like real food in gummy form, that'd probably be the best thing for him.
Well, and depending on the kind of acid reflux you have, some people like the ones with magnesium in them. Some people prefer the regular omeprazole.
Dane,
I'm somebody who takes omeprazole with magnesium.
I know, Dane, and you've been taking it's a 2-week thing, and you've been taking it for 4 years. It's a 2-week dose.
There is actual drugs that you can take.
Yes.
Long
I'm
term.
actually going to a doctor this week to
Zantac,
talk about my health.
Zantac 125 is so you can be on certain things long term, right? Yeah. Zantac maybe not so much super long term, but I think the funniest thing that ever happened to me was Dane was like, he's like, here, I have these I have this with magnesium, and I said, oh cool, and I take one, and I'm looking at the back of the bottle.
Because you were having some issues. Because they're not fast acting. Yeah, you'll feel it by the end of the day.
Exactly, and I'm looking at the back of the bottle. It says 2 week like a 2 week routine, right? It says do not take for longer than 2 weeks, and I said, Dane, how long have you been taking this? Oh, I've been taking these for years.
Every day. 4 years.
It's like, Dane says you're not supposed to take these for longer than 2 weeks. No. Well, that's not good.
Hey, they're basically like
we're trying, like
over-the-counter Nexium adjacent.
So he was like that. So when he was born, he cried all the time, wouldn't sleep.
It sucks.
And
acid
it was because he
reflux is
had
horrible.
acid reflux.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that till he was probably 3 months old. And then the doctor was like, oh, it's probably heartburn. Gives us this medicine that we gave him that we'd put in his mouth. And as soon as I was like, oh, hey, you're a really good baby. Mm-hmm. For the first 3 months, though, he was an absolute nightmare. And Carly and I didn't sleep. And it was rough. So it's probably back. It wouldn't surprise me. He was already had that. So
Yeah.
anyway, so that's kind of what we did. And then very simple, very easy. Thanks, guys. So Cameron, next time you come by, we'll talk hot crow and raven talk.
Nice.
And then
Jeez,
future prison.
God, that's pretty good.
Future prison, you're right. That would have been amazing. Michael, you're right. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that.
No, I remember
that time
reading
when
that
the
as
kids
a kid.
start bawling.
It'll get you.
We got close. Little Ann fell in the river in the cold today or last night. It was close. Augie got snuggled up real close to Mama last night when she was reading it. So
it's about to get worse.
Dane stopped by Home Depot to get a housewarming gift for his next open house.
Hey, you got to be prepared, you know.
And, Shelby, papaya enzymes are good for heartburn. Way better than Tums. There you go.
An interesting
Thanks.
point.
Appreciate that. I'll start looking into that.
Dane,
I'll
what'd
look
you do?
into that. Okay, so as far as my weekend went, yes. On Sunday, I saw your car. At first, I was like, oh, it's an Elantra. Oh, it's kind of looks a little lower. It's got different wheels. Wait, there's a Pepsi sticker on the back. This is the Elantra, the high-performance machine. So that was kind of funny. I just sent a little peekaboo video I see you. But I was heading out while you had clearly arrived while I was in there already. So, yeah, I was getting some spray paint and some Velcro, which sounds very weird and questionable. But the point of that was it's going to help me with my project car. So, I'm not giving away exactly what that is. The big thing I was going to point out was on Friday, obviously, helped Anthony make his way back here and got him his way home so he could get his car. On Saturday, I woke up relatively early. Like, because our week, we had been waking up earlier, my body was like, okay, you want to get up at 6? And I was like, no, I don't. But my brain said, yep, time to get up. And I was like, okay, what do I do now? So I spent a little time lifting the weights, doing a little bit of that, just kind of getting into the groove of things.
Wait, hold on.
He's been lifting weight. He bought a weight set.
Yeah, you didn't know I bought a weight set?
He's turned his garage into a full
When
gym.
did this happen?
He's got mirrors on the wall.
I got a full PVC,
He's got a PVC pipe
bell set up and
filled with sand.
Hold on, Dane. Did I sleep through all this? When did this happen?
This happened like a week or two ago. Yeah.
He didn't talk about it on the podcast. He talked about it out in the hall.
I mentioned it. I mentioned it briefly.
I think you did.
On the
Yeah.
podcast.
So you got a weight set.
Yeah.
Like is it like a dumbbells?
Yeah, just like
So like a dumbbell rack.
Yeah.
Right. What's it go from? Maybe 10 to 50.
They go from I think it's 10 to 50. Yeah, that's it.
So you got your dumbbells, and then what else you got?
So that's basically it. If I want to do anything else, it's go for a walk or go for a run or something, which I'm not quite at the running point yet, but we'll get there. But yeah, I noticed like if you spend too much time on cardio and you're not doing the other stuff, you're kind of missing out. So I figured I'd start doing just the little PVC bells. Call it good.
Heck yeah.
So I started doing that, and then I went and got my haircut. From my favorite, Fantastic Sam's. Yes, it's a chain. I don't care. They're really nice, and they all like.
He really likes the neck shave,
but
with
the
hot
big
tail,
difference
hot
was
towel neck shave.
I'd never actually gotten any beard grooming done, and I was wanting to go to like the Beardsmith or something cool like that. But then I look, and their appointments are like way out, and I'm like, I'm getting my hair cut anyway. I'll just ask here because they just started not requiring masks in there. So now going in there didn't feel weird to suddenly go like, hey, could you get rid of the scruff here? You know, like I could do it myself at home, but there's something to be said about someone else doing it where they can see the exact dimensions of your face. Whereas if I'm doing it in a mirror, I'm only going to get kind of close. So, I just figured I'd get that in there. I thought they did a nice job. But, got
Did they
that,
get
got
in
the
there with
haircut.
scissors?
Oh, it's like a little trimming, getting rid of the long guys and then buzzing it on the sides and
And
stuff.
do they
just
do
to clean
any
it up.
talc powder, or do they do anything?
No,
to
see,
powder
that stuff
your-
I do myself at home using
the Beard Struggle products.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
definitely took care of it on that.
Okay.
Have you noticed that you love the brush in the morning?
I love the brush.
So even
brush
though I
is
lost
good.
my beard, I still brush my face.
No, you don't.
Honestly, I think my number one reason I love those so much is that they're made of wood, and when it gets a little damp, it just smells like kind of that damp wood smell. It's nice. I like
something
it.
good about brush. You need to get a brush just to brush your face.
Oh, it's so nice.
It feels
They also have a scruff balm, so like for your face that works. But anyway, I got that done, and then I proceeded to come down here.
Go down to beardstruggle.com, use the code Levi15.
There it is.
15% off your beard
I
care
didn't. It
product.
works for me. Okay, so maybe it'll work for you. So I came down here to the shop, and I figured, hey, maybe I'll get something done on my project car. And I started looking into what I had to do, which I'd looked at this before, but I must have like totally blanked on the level of effort involved. There are these seatbelt guides. Once again, I'm not saying what car I have, but there are these seatbelt guides on my little car, and they go right on the side of the headrest.
Yeah.
So the bodies are just, or the seats are basically one body. There's no separation between the headrest and the body. It's just kind of one form, and they're these guides for seatbelts. So it goes over your shoulder, because there's no B pillar to mount it on because
it's
it's
like
a
a
little
hook.
roadster. So yeah, kind of options are limited. Otherwise, you're picking up the seatbelt off the floor all the time, which is just annoying. So yeah, I want to fix those because the brackets are broken, and apparently it's a very common thing on this car. And I thought, I can fix that. Then I started watching videos online and realized, oh, I've never reupholstered a car before. Wait, oh my God, I have to do all this? Basically, they take all of the leather on the seat and they take it all off like a big cover, and then it's just the frame underneath, and they work their way up the back, and then all just to get at this stupid tiny little 10-cent plastic bracket on the inside up at the top, remove it, and put in new seatbelt guides. And I'm just like, oh my God, for such a cheap part, this is an insane amount of work. So I looked up alternatives, hacks and stuff, and it's like, well, it's not a safety feature in the traditional sense where if you take a hacky approach and it still looks good at the end, it's going to be dangerous. This won't be dangerous. This is simply a convenience feature. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, there's got to be some other way. So apparently on the leather of the seats, there's little stitching right where you got to get into the bracket. I'm thinking based on this video I watched, I can just sit there and go down the line, take out the stitches, open it up, pull out the old bracket, put it in the new one, and I should be able to have something that works. The guy in the video said he didn't like the original bracket, so he actually put in like engineered wood instead and jammed it in there and then drilled into it and then like countersunk and did some other stuff. It actually looked fine when he was done with it, but it made it easier to replace next time if he had to. So it's like, okay, that's an idea.
So is that what you're tackling today potentially?
So that's something I'm considering. However, today my plans are a little different because that could be some work. Instead, I opted to take the wheels off the car, put them on the left. The wheels were one of the rougher parts of the car because the car had obviously like total paint failure all around it because of sitting out in the sun. The wheels weren't looking so hot either. They were, light gray color, and they were chipped and flaked and all that stuff. And I should have taken Levi's approach of just like aircraft stripper and just like wiped the things out before I went in there. But no, instead I just went in and I sanded them a bunch. And then I just proceeded to paint them. It was a paint with primer base already in it, which is cool, which hid a lot of the stuff, but you can't hide the little cracks and the flakes and stuff. So they showed through, and I'm not super happy with that. So I'm going to pull those flakes off, and then I'm going to proceed to go over it with more paint because I bought four cans. Then I got clear that I can go over it with after that. Give it a nice little protective layer on top. Will it be the best job ever? Absolutely not. But will it look good from, 10 feet? Yeah, I think so. I think it'll look really nice. It's got a nice metal flake. It looks more interesting than the wheels did before, but not in a bad way. I think it complements the car. So when I get it done and I'll take the overspray off the tires, I think it'll look nice. Compared to where it is now.
It's not too late to turn those wheels bronze, Dane.
Oh, God. See, the problem is I'm not doing this car for me. I'm doing this car for the prospective future owner. And they have to understand, okay, you're paying a lower price than you normally would for this car because, no, it's not in the best shape. But I have certain things going for me. It's a very desirable submodel in that line, and it is a very nice option package. There's just some issues mixed in there. And, of course, when you watch the Cheap Car Challenge series, you will see the issues we're contending with. But I'm confident in what I'm able to get out of it, even if I can't fix everything. But the problem is these are like make or break things for a lot of buyers. So I have to at least get into a point where it's acceptable, even if it's not perfect.
I agree.
So that was pretty much my weekend. Was just spent here doing a little bit of that. The other thing I did was I watched that Army of the Dead movie, that Zack Snyder Army of the Dead movie.
It came out
on Netflix.
How was it?
I have to say, like, being picky as I am, I would
you're
say,
picky?
okay,
I
no, I actually gave this one a positive rating. I would say it was actually better than I expected it to be.
So better than Justice League.
Oh, no, well, I mean, that was its own thing, which I did not like the theatrical cut of Justice League, but the Snyder cut I actually really liked. But on this one, it's a little long, but it's not overly long like Snyder cut Justice League was. So this one was actually...
Was it a very good... What were the vibes like? Because was it kind of like Dawn of the Dead vibes?
It was kind of fun,
okay,
but it also had some like darker moments and stuff in it. And I felt like things it would benefit from is just being edited a little bit shorter, because there are moments where you're kind of like, that kind of dragged for a second. But there's some really cool ideas in it, like cool ideas in it. And it's like a heist movie mixed with a zombie movie, so it's kind of fun.
I like that.
Yeah, no, it's
I've been
fun.
hearing good things.
I wouldn't say it's like the best thing ever, but by zombie movie standards, it's a lot better than most of the trash that's come out. I'd say...
And fun fact, Tig Notaro was fully digitally added.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. They got rid of Chris D'Elia, and they're like, nope, Tig, you're going in there.
Yeah.
And they
literally pulled somebody out of the movie and then digitally put somebody else in.
And the funny part, I did not know that until after the movie, but when I was watching the movie, because I've watched so much other stuff, my brain was going, there's something off about Tig's character. She's not directly interacting with much of anybody in this, but it's like it was just close enough where I'm like, okay, it seems like they're shooting around something, and then I look afterwards and realize, oh, that's why. But you know what, like to the average viewer, I don't think they're going to pick up on that much. And the acting, like normally you run into stuff with these where it's like somebody's a terrible actor. No, like in this, everybody's decent. Nobody's like amazing, but at the same time, they're all pretty good to good. So it's like, okay, you're not losing that sense of you suspend your disbelief, but it's a fun movie. I would say it's fun. So I can't wait for G. Davis to just crap all over it after he watches it.
G. Davis says he's imagining a shirtless Dane wearing those bike shorts doing Romanian deadlifts in her garage.
Hey, there's still time.
And then I haven't watched Jupiter's Legacy either.
Have not watched that either yet. But I'd be curious. Maybe I'll check that out. But no, Army of the Dead, I would say if you give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, I'll give it a thumbs up.
I will say,
like,
if you haven't started watching
6,
Mayor
7 out
of
of 10.
Easttown, holy cow, talk about a good thriller. Just really good.
And which one is this again?
Mayor of Easttown on HBO.
HBO. Okay.
Mayor, like Mare. It's Kate Winslet. She plays a detective. Man, next week is the season finale. It has been so good. Carly
limited series then.
It's been a ride.
I don't know, but it's been a ride for Carly and I.
Okay.
Like first episode, we were just like, just on the edge of our seat. Second, it was just like we couldn't get enough. So if you're just joining, you're in the perfect
Mayor Easttown.
You're in the perfect spot because there's like Sunday is going to be the season finale, so you could start now, power your way through those 7 episodes, get to that last episode, go like, holy crap. So if you haven't watched yet, that's a good one.
So the last thing I'll say about Army of the Dead is, for like, if you're looking for things like, oh, it's a Zack Snyder movie, it's going to be blah, blah, blah. Yes, there are definitely musical montages in it and stuff, but the way they're laid out, it's different than some of his other movies. It like definitely has a different feel to it, especially at the beginning. It's very Vegas-y. So it's you could like it, you might not like it, but it's a little long in the beginning, but you'll if you get through it, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
perfect.
But yeah, no, there's just one special effects clip near the end where I watched it and went, oh my God, that is terrible. But everything else in it, the effects are really solid. There's just one, you'll know it when you see it. You go, none of these things are proportional objects in the frame. It's just weird. Yeah. But it was clearly like a last second, like, we need this shot. And they just kind of did it and comped in. It was,
that's good.
But
Dane.
yeah, for the nerds out there, please appreciate that.
Take it away.
So that's it, guys. Anything left to add before we go? No? Okay. So we've got to work on our project cars today. We will be revealing that series soon, hopefully. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, if you're listening to this sometime in the future. And I'm going to ask you right now, please click like, click subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel here, and go leave us a rating on iTunes if you can. Even if you're not listening on iTunes, if you have an account, just go there, leave a rating, hopefully 5 stars or something in between if you feel like it, and write something. It doesn't have to be a lot, just something that will help us grow and reach more people. So that's all I'm asking this time. Thanks, guys. And you know what? If we get some nice reviews, and I'm going to start reading them on the show. I want to make a point of that. If you leave them, you can even make them wacky. I don't care. Just Instagram, put them in there.
Or Apple, iTunes.
Yes. So on the Rad Company podcast, on iTunes, leave a review, and I will start reading those.
I like
if
that.
we get
Good job,
a
Dane.
few. All right, so thank you guys. We'll catch you later. Adios.
See ya.
See ya.